Well, Donald Trump yesterday got elected President of the United States of America, which a lot of people have different opinions about. And I figured since this is YouTube and you're supposed to have an opinion on everything, we would talk about
Let's have opinions.
our thoughts on what just happened. What do you think?
What did just happen?
I'm
still speechless.
Well, it seems to be that
It was rigged. That
it was basically just people were more upset with the establishment than people thought. There was a lot more establishment people against the establishment than people originally expected. And I mean, it should have been a sign when Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump did as well as they did in the primaries, and Donald Trump actually made it through the primary, that there was going to be that it was going to be a totally different election, that there was going to be a lot of
But this is like a whole new level of different. Like, I mean, every poll was like, yeah, Hillary, it'll be kind of close, but like, Hillary's got this. Like, it's good. And then yesterday happened, and now we're here.
Yeah, and basically, I mean, it wasn't a crazy thing that it happened. He was given like a 1 in 3 chance of becoming the president, and it ended up happening because
He found
the
the
polls
one.
the polls were off by basically the same amount that they were off for Brexit. But that's not. I don't think that's what I really want to talk about today. Is what happened. I want to talk about more. What are we going to do moving forward for the next 4 years? Because it looks really bad, and it's probably as bad as it possibly could be, but not as bad as we think it is. So here's where I think things stand right now. The Republicans have the presidency. They have the Senate and the Congress, the majority of the governors, and basically they have control of the entire judicial branch. So that sounds really, really bad. I mean, if you're a person of color or a minority, a gay person, a woman,
diverse type of person.
yeah, lower class, middle class, even upper class, depending on how the economy goes. But yeah, there are a lot of things to be afraid of. But I think what we need to do, rather than
Be terrified.
is we need to. That was definitely the word I was looking for. Is we need to continue participating.
I got you.
I think yesterday I saw on Twitter it was trending like hashtag not my president, or like he's not my president or something. And I see that, and my immediate reaction was like, yeah, fuck Donald Trump. He's not my president. He doesn't represent me. And I mean, that's fine if you think that Donald Trump doesn't represent you. But I think even if you don't like the person who's in charge, even if you do like the person who's in charge, you still have to participate. You can't just say, hey, he's not my president, so I'm just going to pretend like it's like nothing's happening for 4 years. You have to like fight for the things that you believe in. And I think that's where I am right now, where
That's what Hillary said in her speech.
where because Donald Trump won, I'm just even more motivated to get back out there and fight for the things that I believe in. And yeah, I mean, Donald Trump won. Congratulations to the Trump supporters. Congratulations to Donald Trump for winning. I mean, you really pulled it out of the bag. I don't know how it happened. And here's one other thing, and then I'll let you give all your thoughts. Republicans have control of the entire federal government now, which means they can do whatever they want. And that sounds like a bad thing, but they also don't have anyone to blame when things go wrong. If you really believe that like a more progressive agenda is going to steer the country in the right direction and a more conservative agenda is going to do the opposite, then the Republicans are going to mess everything up. You're going to be right in a few years. The only people to blame will be the Republicans, and the party will move more to the left, and the country will move more to the left. And I think that's a little bit of a silver lining, because there's literally nobody else to blame. They can't say, oh, the Democrats blocked this thing or that thing. They have complete control. They can do whatever they want. They can try whatever they want, and if it doesn't work out, then it's on them. And they're the only people that the American public can put at fault. So what do you think?
I think I haven't entirely processed this yet. I think I'm still just in that like seriously kind of phase right now, where
Same.
like I don't think I ever gave it a second thought that Hillary wouldn't be the president. I mean, I always figured it would be really close. I just didn't think it was going to be so close that it would go the other way, and then some. So I'm still processing that. I don't agree with the whole Donald Trump is not my president thing. I think that if you are actually interested in any of this and you haven't seen Obama and Hillary's speeches yet, you should. They talked about, or at least touched on a lot of the things that you said, where fighting for the right cause is always right, even if there's setbacks, and there will be setbacks. Just in general, life in general, Hillary was saying that there's always setbacks. Not everything is just a straight line. Mm-hmm. I think Obama was saying the U.S. has kind of gone through a zigzag of, it hasn't just been a straight line from like bad to good like it's been. In some people's opinion, the results yesterday might have been fantastic and we might be headed in the right direction. In other people's opinion, it wasn't the greatest, and we can do better. We can do more things bigly. We can improve. Mm-hmm. And I think it's not the end of the world if you're on that more progressive side of things. If you were a Bernie supporter, a Hillary supporter, it's not the end of the world. I'm a little bit convincing myself here right now, but it's really, it's a couple years. There's checks and balances. We're going to be okay.
We are going to be okay. I mean, things don't happen insanely quickly. Donald Trump's not going to get into office and day one just make gay marriage illegal and declare that women no longer have the right to an abortion and that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff, it's going to take a little bit of time. We have some time to prepare for it. We have enough support in the Senate, not enough to like block things from happening, but enough to have a voice that can be heard by the president. And if you want to be heard by the president, you have to share your voice. You have to participate. You have to tell people how you feel, how it impacts you personally, and what you think about it. And that's the point of the democracy. Now, it's also important that we start participating more on a local level, where we actually join like the parts of our community that decide what happens in our community, both locally, a little bit bigger, in our city or our county or our state. All of those things are just as important. There's just as much power in state governments as there is in the federal government.
I think it's also a bit of a bittersweet too, because while this can potentially have harmful effects to a lot of citizens, and there are a lot of people who are scared right now and frightened and worried, it won't get any, like, this is as bad as it will be, like you said. And with that, the sweet after that bitter is it will shock people into going like, holy shit, like this happened. We just elected this person. This is actually happening right now. This isn't a theoretical thing anymore. And then next election, I think we'll start to see some changes happening, some big changes. I think Bernie and not Hillary, Trump, they both brought to the table that a lot of people didn't even realize there's two extremes, both under the same roof of anti-establishment that no one really knew was there before.
That's one of the things that I think was most surprising to people is this election was less about, for independents, it was less about Republican versus Democrat and more about establishment versus anti-establishment. And Hillary Clinton was the establishment and Donald Trump was the anti-establishment. They were Democrat and Republican and they got a lot of party line supporters, but it was really the independents who chose the anti-establishment candidate.
There were a lot of Bernie supporters that went over to Trump afterwards. There was lots of polling data that showed that. And I think the biggest thing was just people wanted to see the system blow up. And I think that's what we're going to see.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that Trump will never, ever do a good thing in his presidency. I'm going to keep an open mind there. You never know. He has said some things that have actually piqued my interest, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. I don't want to give off that vibe that just I hate everything about him and all Republicans suck, and that's too closed-minded. And I don't think if that's where you're at right now, try and open your mind up a little bit, because you never know. Just don't worry too much.
I think the last thing is, the next 4 years have the potential to be not great years for a lot of people, and I know 4 years is a long time. If it does get bad, it's going to be hard to get through, but we're going to be here. We can support you. We can help you with whatever it is you need help with. We're going to be around for a while.
Financially, we will support your family.
But after 4 years, as the pendulum begins to swing back, it's going to swing even further in our direction, I think. And that's what's been happening is we had, we had like Clinton, and he was kind of good, and then we had George Bush, and that was a swing in the other direction, and then it swinged further towards Obama, and now back to Donald Trump, and the next swing, who knows what it's going to get, but I feel like every time we take 2 steps forward and maybe 1 step back, and I think Donald Trump is definitely a step back, but I'm not overly worried about the slightly longer term future of the country, and I think that's something that we have to look forward to.
Yeah,
So I don't
I
think
mean-
it's all doomsday scenarios ahead of us. I
No,
think it's,
Hillary mentioned it. Bernie's mentioned it. It's more of a movement than it is just this particular election.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like those Bernie supporters are going to just disappear. It's not like those Hillary supporters are just going to disappear. Those people are out there and we know about them now.
Yeah.
And so I think
just-
next election...
yeah, just get involved in whatever way you can and fight for what you believe in. And that's all I'm gonna say. That was kind of long. We'll probably cut some stuff out of that. But yeah, I mean,
We're
that's
just
our
trying to
opinions.
process this as much as anybody else. So sorry this isn't like our usual content, but if you're interested in politics, thanks for sticking around. If you're not, thanks for sticking around.
We'll have more fun things coming up in the next few days. So yeah, I mean, this isn't gonna be very often. We're not gonna be this kind of like serious and oh god, no, we're talking about.
I think
not
we're
funny
both
things.
just like a little bit like kind of stressed out, just trying to figure out what's going on and
I think
what
everyone
everything
is.
looks like. I think it was just yesterday was a big day for a lot of people.
Yeah, I hope you liked this video, and I hope it maybe relaxed you a little bit. I think it relaxed me to kind of say some of these things.
Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Try not to be.
I want to have a discussion. I want to have a discussion
Aggressive.
both with people who agree with me and people who disagree with me. I'm sure there's going to be people who disagree with me on the left, people who disagree with me on the right.
If
I
there
want- I
are
want
some
everyone-
Trump supporters, I want to hear
Yeah.
what you think about the next. I mean, now that Trump is going to be the president, without
Mm-hmm.
a doubt, I want to know what you think about what's going to happen. If
Mm-hmm.
there's anybody who supports Trump that's watching, like I don't want it to be like people who don't support it, don't be hostile.
Yeah, as I said, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, it'd be awesome if you gave it a like, and if you could follow us on other social media accounts where we just keep you up to date with things that we're up to and sometimes post fun, interesting content on those different platforms. You can do it. We have Instagram and Twitter, I think, are the biggest ones right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So yeah, follow us. We're at CarlxBen.
Thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you all in the next video.
All right, bye.
Bye.